from as a child, and I know I can talk from my own experiences, for being a woman, and often women, we don't give ourselves permission to succeed or allow ourselves to make a lot of money. I know that I had the blueprint growing up that my mother had always said, go ask your father. Your father has the money. So I grew up with that mindset of the men have the money. So, I always had to, evolve and grow and constantly work on myself and allow myself to succeed in life. So there's so many things, and we can all have those sharing experiences together. And I think tonight is really, I wanted to open that up to talk about you, because your investment in this was huge. Your commitment in those 3 days. I understand what it takes, especially those who have children and young children who had to arrange babysitters, and I had conversations with a lot of women, and it's a big sacrifice to jump in a full 3 day event. It's overwhelming. It's exhausting. It's a lot in one 3 day event, as we all experience going to max events. So yeah, I'd love to really just open it up and make it about you and your experiences. So who wants to share an experience, number one? So just say why in the chat section. So Chris can unmute you. And so I guess, Chris, you can unmute them as they put their why. So
Actually, Tammy, sorry for interrupting. I left the line open so everybody can mute and unmute yourself. So if I mute you, it's simply because you may have some background noise. And when there's the slightest little noise, what happens is the focus gets on you and it takes away from the person that's actually speaking. So if you don't mind, if you're not speaking, keep your microphone off, because I'm keeping the line flexible so you can unmute yourself as you see fit. And that way, as Tammy calls up on you, just unmute yourself. Okay? So back to you, Tammy.
excellent. So who wants to go first in sharing their experience? First of all, the protocol is I'd love to hear from everybody, because we all got some great content out of this. And so the big question is, what was the thing? What was your takeaway? Who was the most impactful person that created that emotion inside of you? And what are you going to do with that moving forward? So, who wants to share? And I'm looking at the amount of people in the group right now. I'm guessing, Chris, we might have about 20 people or more if some come on. So if we can keep that into a 2 minute maximum, that would be phenomenal. If we can keep it short and to the point. So who wants to go first? Linda, excellent.
Hey, Tammy, I'll kick it off. It was an amazing 3 days. I really felt bonded with Jamie Kearns Lima, not necessarily because she's a billionaire, but because she said there's only one of you, and if you're authentic, then nobody can copy you. And so we sometimes, get caught up in all of the shoulds in social media and so forth. And so she really spoke to her authenticity and showed us how it cost her a lot, but in the end, that was the value she stuck to, and it meant everything to her. So definitely being authentic. And she also said, who is your customer? It's always about your customer. And so that was another thing that really stuck as well. Sometimes I'm caught up with my stuff, getting the story out, doing what you need to do, and maybe not listening to them. So really knowing your customer, I think, was excellent. And she was all about stepping into her power. She was an amazing storyteller. We haven't got her book yet, but she's got a book called Believe It, and I'm sure that will be an excellent read.
Thank you. So taking all of that, what are you now going to do to implement this into your Max business?
Having a better sense of the customer. A lot of it was being in service to others and keeping the focus on who we're helping, I think is always going to be the better place. And also listening to the customer, making sure that I really know what their need is before moving forward to tell them about business products, etc. It's always about them and their need.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing. Awesome. Who wants to go next?
It's Jasmine. I'll go, and I don't have my notes, so I don't know who the speakers were, but the message that came loud and clear to me was that in this business, in network marketing, the more money that you make, the more people you've helped. And that stuck with me and resonated with me so much, so that if sometimes people say to me things, as I, share the business with people, or they become new associates, they might say, I'm not one that sells, or I feel like I'm pushing things onto people. It was really about understanding that the difference that you make for them, because of that, you're going to be rewarded financially. So look at it the other way again, because the more money you make, it's the more people you've helped. And I really got the thread that came through for me for the whole weekend is that if we aren't making what we know that our potential is, if we're not dreaming big enough, there's actions that we're not doing, but the bottom underlying theme for everyone was, we don't think we're worth it. And that resonated with me loud and clear. So when I hear anybody say anything that's holding them back, I'm really going to dig deep and find out what it is, that how they perceive themselves, what's going on for them, why do they think they don't deserve it, all that kind of stuff, and clear that out of the space so that they really can see their vision and their dream. That really, like I said, struck a chord for me, because, as most people know, I've hit a point and I've plateaued, and I know that I've got what it takes to bust through, but I'm always thinking about tomorrow, it's going to happen tomorrow. What about today? So the other part was when we had that breakout group that Tammy, I was telling you, it's back to being accountable. If I'm not holding myself accountable, how am I going to hold other women accountable, or other business associates, men or women, accountable to rise up? And I have to set that example. So that's what I took away. Lots of things, but that's what really, like I said, stuck with me.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for sharing, Jazz. This is powerful, and I have to share that with you because all of us, we're human beings, and often we get so we get focused, especially after an event like this. We get really focused. Okay, we're going to be accountable, do it, and then slowly and slowly and slowly we fade away a bit, and then it takes another event to bring that back. So yeah, this is profound, because often we can all relate to this part, Jazz. So thank you. And yes, that's what's important. Stay connected. How many times do we hear this from Chris? Stay connected, stay connected, stay connected, stay the course, stay connected. And that's the reason why you keep your light shining when you're connected. So thanks for sharing that, Jazz. Anybody else that want to share?
I will.
Excellent. Thanks, Beth.
I don't do overwhelm. Oh my God, that was huge for me. And I'm implementing that. I started implementing that immediately as soon as they said it. And it's, not necessarily with my business specifically, but just with life. Things are just crazy all of the time. And I have used that phrase multiple times the last couple of days already. And it's very interesting how it just stops the voices in my head. It stops all the chatter, and just helps me stay focused. It just keeps me calm. I love it. Like I said, it'll be great for my Max business, but also just for life in general. And then the other, her name was Emily, and she spoke about, I know for me, a lot of times I'm thinking about all the things I want. I have the vision board and I want this and I want this and I want this, and I don't have it. And that can get very discouraging. because I'm not moving like I want to move, and I don't have what I know I could have. And she spoke about, just being excited every day, finding something every single day to be excited about, to be grateful for. And that excitement is going to, you'll be shining your light and building other people up by your excitement just in every day. So that's what one thing I really need to focus on, instead of always thinking about what I want in the future. I mean, that's important, but I need to focus on every single day.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. I can relate to a lot of what you're saying. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Who wants to step up?
Hello, I'll do that.
Thank you, Coco. Thank you, Coco.
It was about something I learned from Stormzy. And she said sometimes we have to die inside so that we give birth to the better version of ourselves. And she gave the abbreviation for rest in peace, and the R, it stands for reprogramming ourselves, and also the I standing for immersing fully into what we intend to achieve and put in the activities, and also the P, that is doing proximity, doing it to the highest level and not less, settling for less. And he ended by saying that we should never leave the site of decision without taking an action. Yeah. That really inspired me.
Nice. Thank you. Who was it that said that? I'm just trying to think of the name of the person.
Stormzy, I think Stormzy. I
Yeah,
stand to be corrected.
Army. That's right. That's right. Yeah, she was a powerhouse. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's so much talent in this core group in those 3 days. It was such a wow experience. The whole 3 days was a total wow experience. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share?
I can go.
Okay.
I think, first of all, Marina and Eric are awesome. They put out an awesome event, and everybody brought something to the table. So what I took out of it is a little bit from all of them that I can relate to. There's one Marina talk about, you want to become rich. So it revolved around money. So what's your relationship with money? Okay. And she had the acronym for all of the letters. So R for your relationship with money, I for income, where you are and where you do want to be. And C is confidence and self-growth. And H is for help, stepping into your true power, that you're your greatest asset, and you have to invest in your asset. And that's why I joined the breakthrough, the 8-week program coming up, because I forget who said that yes, success loves speed, but you want to shorten the time that you learn the skills that you need to in order to be able to grow. So I want to shorten the curve, because I'm tired of being gold and I need to move up, and bring other people up with me. So I think Dr. Shefali had a really great portion. Everybody had great, Stormy and what's her name, Lee, War,
Yes.
Jesse Lee, they're dynamite, And I know my personality is not that loud, so I'll never be, like them, but I certainly have a voice, and I think it's time people hear my voice.
Wow, that is so awesome. I'm excited that you're part of the program. I actually want to recognize the ones who did invest in themselves after this section here. So who else wants to share?
I want to.
Thank you, Mine. I saw you today. I don't know if you saw my comment on Facebook, but on fire this morning. I love it.
Thank you, my love. I was on fire this weekend. I did manage to get one of my associates there, although she got sick on Sunday. And I thought, can't you get sick in a chair and watch this, please? But, so I learned a lot about the relationship, because sometimes you're running and you forget about those around you. And so the two things I got out of it was that it's about relationships with others. It's not about, the money you're making, with them is great, but it's the relationships we built. And I think she felt really encouraged that I said, go take care of yourself, right? And because you won't be able to take care of your family. And I'll take notes for us and I'll share. But the other thing that I really took away, which really made me grow, is I can relate to your hubby 120%, Tammy. We grew up in those French Canadian families where don't shine, don't look too bright, don't wear, don't stand out, just be average. Average is good. And I kind of sat on my laurels and, and just sort of, well, I did corporately well, and it's time for my light to shine. So even though this morning I felt, it was strange. I didn't feel tired. We didn't feel tired, right? We took a couple of extra ATPs, and I just want that fire not to end. So even though I could not register for the next program, I did buy my ticket for 2021, and paid the extra $97 for the recordings, so that I can replay them when I want to be inspired. So I did invest $197 plus 97 for my future. And I bought 2 books.
Awesome. Which books did you buy? You bought the Believe It and
Believe It. And then I also bought a book written by Lisa Nichols. It's not one of her most recent titles. I don't have it in front of me, but it was one of those where, push yourself to the next level. So I bought Believe It and Lisa Nichols. And when I get it, I will share the title with you guys so you guys know what it is.
yeah, and let's expand on these books on the Strong Max Women platform too for future book club. That is so awesome. Well, thank you for sharing, and I can feel your energy and what it's going to take to get to the next level and your commitment. So I really appreciate that today. When I saw you this morning, I was like, woo!
Well, I'll be looking to you, Tammy, a lot, because one of the last things I want to say is I tend to surround myself with people that need to get picked up. Who picks me up? Right? Remember the average? I mean, they're great people, but they don't do anything. I need to surround myself with more Tammys and more Chris's and more of the rest of the team of people who are going places, rather than the ones who are still questioning, if they have the time. So I'm going to not lose my circle, but certainly aim to be with a more, invigorating circle, if that's a polite way of putting it.
Yeah, because we all need to be fed, right? So that's what these events happen. The moment you capture these events, you realize where you're at, and you go, "Oh my gosh, I gotta go further. I gotta start listening to this. I gotta buy this book. I gotta take that next course." I mean, Chris and I have been immersed in this stuff for 20. I don't know, Chris. 20 some years. I know Chris has been longer in the industry because he's tried a couple things before we met. But the moment I started in network marketing, I don't know, has anybody ever heard of a lady called Lisa Grossman?
She was the one that signed me up in Lexus, I believe.
Okay.
With Chris.
So, yeah.
No, I didn't know you, Chris, at the time. I think when I just started.
Yes. So Lisa, I remember I was the shyest person in the room, I'm sure. I knew nothing about network marketing, nothing. I'm a swimsuit designer. Put a piece of fabric on a table and stand in front of me, I'm going to make you look fabulous, because that's my gift, right? So here I am coming to network marketing, no experience, super shy, like super shy. And then, you know, I saw this lady on stage, and she was kind of average looking when you just look from a glance. But the moment she opened her mouth, I was like sitting in the back going, and I said to myself, I want to be her, because I didn't know at the moment I needed to be my best me. I just looked at her and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be her. But I still had a lot of growth to do. So I invested in myself. I've been investing in myself for years. And I still continue investing in myself, because we can always learn something new or get to the next level, or maybe we need to learn it again because it just didn't kick in. Have you ever done that? You've learned something, but you haven't applied it, or it hasn't kicked in, and then you hear it again from somebody else. Same thing, but it's like, oh my gosh. So you end up buying the book or getting the audio. You know what I'm talking about. We all do this. And then eventually, I'm telling you, when it kicks in, that's it. There's no return. And I can say that for Chris and I, there's absolutely no return. We are always moving forward. We are always on our game as much as we can. And we're always evolving in different ways. Like Chris said, he's in the background doing all this stuff. A lot of you don't know what we're up to, but it's big stuff. And in the next 6 months, it's going to take our businesses to a whole new level. But we have to invest in ourselves, in people who have the skills that we need to get to that level, in what they're doing is what we want to do. So you'll hear all about this later on, but these are the things. If you want to grow, you need to invest in yourself. Don't sit back and watch other people invest in themselves going, oh, you know what, I'll just get it from them. Because here's what happens. I know, because I've done stuff like that before. Here's what happens. They come back super pumped, as you see. They come back super pumped. They invest in themselves. And a year from now, they've changed, and you're sitting there going, what happened? They invested in themselves, and they can never, ever share that experience that lifted them. They can come back with material, they can come back with a training, but they cannot give you that fire. That fire comes from that investment. And Marie Paul, you're going to get that. I can promise you. I've never invested in an event financially like that, other than the accelerator that Chris and I were in, other than one-person trainer. And here, it's a freaking buffet of badass women. I'm like, I can't pass that up. As much as Chris and I have invested in so many different things, I said, no, I can't pass that up. So that's why I'm fully engaged and excited about this, because I know that I need to get to the next level of my game. So think about that. You must think about that. If you want to evolve and excel, it's going to come from those breakthroughs. And those breakthroughs come from doing that step that you're so afraid of, especially when you're putting money out. Trust me, I know all of the emotion around putting money out when you don't have it, because we've been there many times. And we remember the struggling days, but we did it anyways. We found a way. And it literally transformed our lives, as you can see today. And if I hadn't invested, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I can tell you that. It's those experiences that just knock my head against the wall, literally. So sorry, I got super passionate about that. Who wants to go next? Come on, step up, you guys. Sylvie, you got a story.
Yes, I just got my mic here. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so many things. I don't know where to start. So I'm just like, oh, what am I going to say? I don't know. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of training and learning a lot of stuff. but it always brings me back to the first step. It's overcoming my fear of prospecting. So it doesn't matter how far down the line I go, I have to come back to square one. So that's where I'm going to focus, but I'm going to get really good at it because I'm going to find out what's not working. I'm going to learn how to ask better questions because now I understand that fear is not just me, it's everybody. And when we start asking questions, we have to figure out what's their fear to see if we can maybe come and with our own experience, because now I'm going to take note. How do I feel when I'm contacting a person? How do I feel when I'm doing this step? How do I feel to start integrating? Because I'm always reacting. I'm very good. Throw me a problem and I'll find a solution because I'm always in reaction mode. So now I'm going to be more focused, more intentional, because I know that if I want to move on, I have to learn how to talk to people. I have to learn how to ask the right questions, and I have to learn to listen. But to not just accept a no, but to find the courage to ask that extra question to see if they're not willing to open themselves, so I can maybe get the chance to plant the seed. So that's what I'm focusing on. And but I know that all the trainings that I've done, they're not lost. I can always go back to them. But my first hurdle is prospecting. And I'm not going to worry about how to get them started or it's too far down the road. Right now, it's prospecting. It's just prospecting. That's all I'm going to be doing, and mastering prospecting and inviting. And once I get the people in, then I'll learn how to start them, and then I'll learn how to coach them. So that's my focus. So that's what I got out of everything, because it all comes down to the same thing. At least that's what I was hearing this weekend. So I guess that's what I was needing to hear, because it doesn't matter who you listen to. It's not about the facts. It's not about the products. It's about the relationships and having people wanting to be part of your team. So that's what I'm going to be working on.
Wow, that's huge. I've known Sylvie Gatto. Remember when we lived in Montreal, Sylvie? You used to come over to our house in Montreal at the con.
Tammy, I got a question.
Tammy, can I add something very quickly?
Yes.
And I was listening to you, Sylvie, and sorry, Mario-Paul, for cutting in. It's just an observation, and I'm really, really glad to hear how you're coming out of your shell. And if I may give you a suggestion, try to replace the word by "I have to."
Yeah, I want to, or I'm going to.
I am actually. You see, when you say "I have to," "I'm going to," it is in the right direction. But what you're telling yourself subconsciously is later, later, later. It's not now. Later. And this is what's happening. And the reason I'm telling you this, I struggled with that for many, 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 many years. And when I catch myself doing that, I don't know if it's a French thing or something, but it's just when you speak, always affirm things as if it is done or it's being done now, opposed to it's going to happen later or things like that. Again, I'm not criticizing. I just want to help you because I'm excited to hear what you're doing because you're in the right direction. And I just wanted to acknowledge some of those things that I also had to correct, because the moment you live as if it is done, it is you wouldn't believe the difference. There's some things that I'm still thriving and getting to, and I'm actually feeling like I have it already. And it's really interesting. That started in 2006. And when I started shifting my thinking by I have it now opposed to I'm going to have it, that's when things happen very quickly. It's amazing. Same stuff I used to do when I was huffing and puffing, and now with a lot of success, I'm not doing all that different. It's just the way I process it. I just wanted to share that with you. So back to you, Tammy, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to share, Sylvie.
Okay, so let me change this. I am prospecting and I'm good at it.
Oh yeah. Now you got it. See, now these are affirmations, and I'm telling you, this is not hocus pocus. I come from an engineering background. I'm very technical, and trust me, anything like that for me, you were to talk to me 20 years ago, it's a different person. Now I know more. I know best. So this is correct. You said it right. It's the affirmation on what you say, and I'm telling you, it will affect your results. I couldn't hold that in. I had to share. So thank you.
Thanks.
Tammy, can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
To the men that were at the event, how did it feel to be surrounded with 170, over 170,000 women, and some 2,000 men, 20,000 men, or 2,000 men. And are you hearing the same thing the way, well, probably not, but I mean, how have you heard the things that we've heard? You know, I know it's going to help you support the women in your teams, but how did you grasp the powerful, the feminine power that was in the room?
Any guys want to? I know who wants to step up. Who's been there the whole event? One of the guys. I'd love to hear some of that. I know that Kofi shared, and I really appreciate. Emmanuel, you were there.
Yeah.
You got to speak up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It was this past weekend.
You're a little bit.
Turn your video off, Emmanuel. You'll get better bandwidth.
Yeah.
Yes, turn the video off. You'll get better bandwidth. Correct.
Nice picture.
So from the program this weekend, it's just an amazing thing. For me, one of the things I learned was from, it runs through all the speakers, is that my mind has to be in my destination. My mind has got to get to the destination before my body gets there. And this resonates so much with me because in the course of months and years I've been in this industry, I've lost the skill and do it to the best of my ability, but it has not materialized or come to the level in which I desire. And that has also reflected in my current position. And I've been thinking, so when I heard that, it resonated with me that I need to win the battle of the inner game, the battle of the mindset. My mind has to be at that very destination I desire to be before my physical body gets there. So this so much resonated with me. Then I am the logical person, but when I saw the emotion, that is to answer the question of Mary Paul, when I saw the emotion of the ladies, I was moved to shedding tears. And this also got to me because I need to become emotional. I need to get involved, immersed in this very business. And going forward from now, what I want to do is just what Eric Warren said. He said, get the mentors, even if you are not able to pay or go to them, get them in. Like he had the three of them. He had Jim Rohn, how through his books and audio. So, and finally, I have questions of this thing. I'm doing that. Also, I got emotion, take the action gradually. Wow. So it was a lot for me. Very necessary.
Wow. Thank you for sharing, Emmanuel. And I think a lot of us are the same. We can relate to that. You know, often we have a goal, we want to go for it, and then all of a sudden our mind sits down and it starts to try and take us out of the game, right? So yeah, your mind has to go first and then your body has to follow. You have to keep going like that. So yeah, I'm glad that you got something great out of there like that, because you're right. Every single woman that stood up talked about mindset. They talked about heart. They talked about their experiences and how they were able to overcome. And they were all unique and amazing. And all men have their own emotional journey. And I know there's a lot of pressure for men to perform as the caregiver. And the women's biggest thing is we need security. It's a big thing for a woman to have that security. But we also learned that we as women can create our own security. We don't need a man to get that security. And it was just so powerful. The whole event was amazing. And I know, Paul, I know you got a lot out of it. We had conversations today. You want to share?
Sure. You know, I was told a few years ago that even if our products were free, they would still be too expensive. And I didn't believe that until I found out how many people didn't get on this course, this 3-day course, which was what Marina said was over $1,000. It was probably more than that. And they didn't get on the course. It was free. I mean, I could say more, but I'm not going to. But my takeaway, you know, you can tell the size of the person by the size of the problem that gets him or her down. That really, really got me, because how many times have you wallowed in negativity and procrastination, and it's just a problem that you personally are doing, and you know what, it means nothing. You've got to get over that, and your size of the person because of that is characterized by that problem. So yeah, you got to make sure that if the problem's big enough, then you've got to get over it no matter what it is. And that really affected me. That really was an aha moment to me. And subsequently, you know, I'm going to the top no matter what. Now, Eric said this: I'm going to the top no matter what. You'll find me on the top, or you're going to find me on the side of the road. But you know what? Damn it, you're going to find me on the side of the road, because I'm going to the top. And one of those two things are going to happen to me. And I don't give a damn. It's going to happen. Hopefully, I'll be at the, no, not hopefully. Sorry, Chris. I will be at the top, because I know you're going to step in here.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to be at the top. All right, but those are the two choices I have. Only. The second takeaway: your money mindset will determine your level of success. Oh my God! If you don't have a healthy relationship with money, it will not be attracted to you. That is so true. You know, in this business, the money you attract is a direct reflection of how many people you help. I agree with that. And that was just another part of this, you know, aha moment. Ridding yourself of past experiences. We talked about that, past experiences from the words that you hear at school, church when you're young, family, society, the brainwashing we get, the social brainwashing we get on TV. It's so crucial to get those out of the way. I mean, you've got to get rid of that stuff. It is just, it just tears you apart. Eric Worre said, if your identity doesn't, now he said this a few months ago in another course. He said, if your identity doesn't align with your income will decrease to match your identity. Oh my God, that is so true. That's why so many millionaires who win $1 million in a lottery are broke within a year, because they don't have the mindset. They don't have the, I'm not going to say intellect, I just said it. They don't have that to keep the money and save it and what have you, and that's why they're broke within a year. And it's so true. It really, that was definitely a mind-blowing experience for me. You know, Jim Rohn said it all. He said, if you want to be wealthy, find a way to serve the many. Service to many leads to greatness. Wow. You know, and I've heard these words before. This weekend, those words really came home to roost with me, because it's so important, because that was another aha moment to me. For those people who didn't get on this 3-day training, I really, and I think most people here on this group got in it, but I really feel sorry for you if you didn't get on the course, because not knowing is not growing, and not being on the training, you did just that. You didn't grow. And it was free. And you didn't have an excuse not to get on, unless you were at a wedding or a funeral. I'm not kidding. I mean that with all my heart. You should have been there if you weren't there. Thank you so much, because I know those people that were there are going to give back. They're going to make a difference in so many people's lives, for the people who were there. Believe me. I mean, we are a very powerful community. And the people that were there are going to show that over the next year. You know, what do I get from this? How am I going to use what I've learned? Well, my confidence has grown. My confidence has grown on what I thought about before was true. It is true. So I got confirmed on what I believed already. And my posture has grown. My attitude has improved. And you know what? All of this comes down to the duplication process. I can now duplicate more with the people on my team based on what I have learned over the last 3 days and from before. And this all comes back to duplicating. Because if you have a great relationship with money, guess what? You can transfer those beliefs to people in your organization who may come from other countries who don't have that type of relationship with money. And that's okay. It can be learned, but you've got to know it first before you can duplicate that. So to me, that was one of the biggest aha moments that I got also. Thank you, Tim.
Oh, thanks, Paul. All righty. So I'm looking at the time. We're going to finish this at 9. We got 15 more minutes. Anybody else want to share?
This is Kathy. Can I share a couple things?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm with you, Paul. This was the event to not miss. And if people did miss it, there are opportunities coming up. And so don't miss them. That would be my 2 bits. Okay. I just have a few quotes that really, really stuck out for me. Sarah Zolecki, blonde-haired woman, the cousin of Eric Worre, she said, have the courage to be imperfect. And I love that because so often we're trying so hard to figure out what we're going to say, exactly how we're going to say it, and practicing with our phone to make the 3-way call. And, you know, I did practice once, but then the first time I did it, I think I did it all wrong. And you don't just do it. And the only way to get better is actually by doing it. People say to me, well, how did you get better at that? You know, talking to people. I said, I went out and talked to people. And I paid attention to what I was saying and what worked and what didn't. Okay, Jessie Lee, be a reckless optimist. What a great phrase. I mean, it sounds like the courage to be imperfect. You know, don't worry about the first time she did a TikTok, she was like, oh my God, you know, like a Facebook Live. Kate Hudson, leaders are solution oriented. Don't get mired in the mud of problems and people's complaints. And, you know, we have this new virtual office and yes, I have a lot of issues with it, but I'm not going to let that get me down. I'm just going to keep charging forward. Ann Fisher, boy, really powerful. The woman who talked about being pregnant at 40 with a special needs child and having a seizure and then having to deliver her early. And she's got some real challenges. Be aware of who the dream stealers are in your life and the dream makers. And I wasn't really aware of that until I came into network marketing because there's all this personal development, right? And what happened is I realized my whole life I have been moving myself away from people who were dream stealers, but also negative Nellies, whiny, complainy people. And I might have become friends with them because our children were the same age and we hung out in the same mom's play group and we lived near each other. But every time we'd be together, I'd leave the situation drained and depressed. And, you know, over time, I'd pull back from that relationship, not realizing until I was in network marketing that they were dream stealers. And I need to surround myself with more dream makers. Obviously, Tammy and Chris and Paul and all you wonderful people are dream makers. But the other big thing, I was very moved on Saturday night by Kate Hoke, who works with the prisoners. And my mom was a psychologist. That was her career. So we had a lot of psychology discussions in our home. And women, we always put ourselves last, you know, the children come first, the breadwinner comes next, the family, you know, maybe our faith organization, we're volunteering our lives away, but we need to prioritize us. And whether that's the self-care, you know, the exercise, the nutrition, the taking care of me time, but also our business. You know, somebody said to me the other day on one of the breakout groups, it was somebody from Africa, I don't remember who, and she goes, well, at the end of the day, you know, if I have extra time, then I work on my business. And I said, can I make a suggestion? Instead of saying, if I have extra time, plan the time. Maybe you have that sacred hour from 7:30 to 8:30 where the kids aren't allowed to ask you for homework help. Your husband's not allowed to ask you questions. You go in the bedroom if that's what it takes, lock the door, and you make your phone calls. And, you know, she had a family, she had a full-time job. And I said, you need to prioritize what's your hour here, your half an hour there that you're going to work on the business, and nobody can come interrupt you unless the house is on fire, right? And they're bleeding to death. And the other thing is, Emily Vavra always speaks right to me because she's very serious. I view her as very serious, and I'm very serious. I'm not the Labrador or the dog that, you know, likes to have fun all the time in those personality types. I can have fun, but I am super serious, and everything she says makes sense to me, and I just go yes, yes, yes. So I didn't come up with a quote from her, but anyway, thanks for the chance to share.
Oh, thanks for sharing. You hit on every key point, so thank you for that.
Sure.
Okay, I'm just looking at the time here. Anybody else want to go?
Yeah, I can just be very brief, just a couple of sentences. For me, the summary was right from the first day. And it was when I think Marina said that I can take you to the gym, but you have to do the heavy lifting. So for me, that's just the takeaway from this. So you need to set short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. All these things, if you have them and you don't have a plan to implement them, then it's just not worth it. It's going to end up being useless. So I plan to implement, even though I wasn't able to sit in for the 3 full days because I have other commitments, but I was in and out for the 3 days, and it was well worth it.
Wow. Thank you. And we had a breakout session together, so that was fun. I enjoyed that. I'd like to hear from Lucy. Lucy's so wise, and Lucy's got a lot of years of experience in this business. I'm an associate. We had a good conversation this morning, Lucy, and I know that Lucy has invested a lot of money. As Paul, myself, and Lucy, we had the most incredible bonding in a year by investing in ourselves $20,000, the three of us together. How many years ago did we do this? I even forget. Maybe 2008?
That was 10 years ago at least. 10 years ago? 11, 12.
And it brought Lucy and I back to that moment in our conversation today on the people that move us. These defining moments that move us. Well, this weekend was kind of like I don't know, kind of like a teaser. It was a teaser this weekend. And really the meat and potatoes are when you take it to that next level. Because everything that we all got, these little nuggets, guess what? In that course, so if you can't do it, I understand. But if you can and you can find a way, do it. Because in those meat and potatoes, that is where you're going to get that breakthrough. And I know because Lucy's been through it, Paul's been through it, I've been through it. I mean, Marie Paul has stepped up to the plate. We had a conversation this morning. I didn't even know that she made that decision. Linda, I want to talk to you because we talked today briefly. Congratulations for investing in yourself because you stepped up to the plate. Sylvie, I was going back and forth with you on that program saying, whoa, girl, you remember? And she stepped up. And the key is to step up. If you can't do this one, do the next one. Like Kathy said, don't beat yourself up. Find a way not just to grab a 3-day event, find a way to invest in yourself to take it to another level, because that's when you're going to go to that next level. So Lucy, maybe share a little bit of your takeaway from this weekend.
Thank you, Tammy. There was someone who were talking about that it comes from all our childhood. And I did already a therapy with a psychogenealogy, psychogenealogy, about all the genealogy, all it comes from our childhood. And when we have a blockage as an adult, we need to look back. And it touched me when she said that, because it was really what I did to find out. To each time I was bringing something, I had to go back in my childhood, and I could find things. And also, I don't remember who said that. I would need to look in my note, but she said, no more. She said, won't go to sleep ever. Only when I died. And I have been invest a lot in humanitarian work, and I always was thinking that I should give more because I received so much in my life. I didn't suffer from in my childhood. I was loved, and I wanted to go in Africa from 5 years old, and it didn't went away from my mind, and I did it. So I worked 25 years in Africa. But when she said that, because I am older now, I said maybe I should do less. But I don't want to do less. I need my health. I take care of my health so I can continue, but I will continue until I die. So you are going to be stuck with me until I die.
It's an honor.
Looking forward to it, Lucy.
Lucy, we're not stuck with you. It's a privilege to be with you.
I love that.
It's a funny way to make you laugh. Everybody's laughing.
It's all good. Yeah. So, I think I'm just looking at the time. I just want to respect the time, and we do have lots of time to a relationship. It's all about relationship and elevating each other and taking each other and to the next level. And that's something we're constantly working at. That's what these calls are for. That's what, all these events are about: building relationship, getting to know each other, hearing our stories, because your story matters and your story is going to lift people. Scott Henderson has no idea how often I use his story when I prospect. He has no idea. But his story impacts people's lives. Your story impacts people's lives. Tell your story often, because people will get moved by these stories. And I know that a lot of you have stepped up this year in such a powerful way with your stories. And I know that the initial GoPro convention had, it got the ball rolling, right? And I always say, it's good to get training from people you don't know also. Step out of that comfort zone. Sometimes, Max is a comfort zone. It's great. We can learn from each other. But you gotta sometimes step out a bit and hear it. You might hear the same thing sometimes, but because it came from somebody else, it's a little bit fresher. And maybe it's said in a different way, that it might be that little bit of an element that will keep you ignited again for another month or 2 months or whatever, or maybe it'll transform you. So that's why, we encourage people always to spread your wings, to fly. Our goal is for all of you to become whatever you desire to become in this business, personally, professionally, and income-wise. And that's why Chris and I continue doing what we're doing. I mean, I was talking to Lucy this morning, and I'd have to say the biggest phrase that hit me was day one: I don't do overwhelm. That one really hit me. And I realized, I'm always emotional in the overwhelm because I want so much for people. And sometimes we have to step back and we have to look at our schedules, and we have to, make some changes. So there's some self-care time. Like I go to the gym in the morning, and I'll take my little break here and there, but I'm really emotionally in the game. And I think, like you, Lucy, I don't want to retire. And emotionally in the game, sometimes it might seem overwhelming, but I love you guys.
Yeah, we love you too.
We do, and your life matters.
So I think this is
Yeah,
a
you too, Tammy.
Thank you.
this is a great great ending, and that was a wonderful, wonderful session, Tammy, and all of you that spoke, and maybe some of you wanted to speak, and there will always be another opportunity. What's really important here, folks, is I know Tammy threw some numbers like 20,000. Now you don't need to spend this kind of money. It was an example of the commitment, the financial commitment that some of us are willing to get into. What's important is to stay plugged in. It is to participate into events. It is to understand that you need to evolve, you need to grow, you need to learn, and you need to discover your real full potential. And when you attend events like this, it's designed to trigger a fire underneath you to start recognizing your voice and who you are. And one of the things is, once you go through an event like this, it's important that the moment you recognize the qualities and the areas that you need to improve upon, that you stay the course and evolving. And I'm telling you, this could be the change that will completely change your life. I'm not talking just about building your max business. I'm talking your relationship with your husband, with your wife, with your kids, with the people around you, with your friends, with your downline. People will recognize the growth, the personal growth, the way that you're evolving. And if you the word is stuck in French. If you have a bright light and people can see you for miles, I'm telling you, they're gonna want to know, they're gonna want to follow you. I'm telling you, every one of you here has the gift. Most of you here attend the events on a regular basis. Stay the course, but don't stay silent. Talk to people. And if people say something that makes you feel a little less about yourself, you need to the words are not coming easy this evening. It is important that you do not take these things personally.
Exactly.
Because people have their own stuff. And unfortunately, you don't know what they're going through. All you know is how you feel when they respond to you. And people are like sponges. When people used to respond to me, I would accept it like a sponge. And that's why I had a lot of work to do on my personal security, my personal belief in myself. I'm telling you, there were moments in my life that it was lacking big time. And that's because I trusted. I'm a trustworthy person. Sometimes people used to laugh at me because I was so gullible. Just because I trust. That was just the way I was born and raised, and I trust blindly. And people used to laugh at me because I trusted blindly. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful quality. But unfortunately, it's a world that we live in that it could play against you. You don't want to change that beautiful side of you. You just want to protect yourself, understanding that what they say to you, it is not personal to you. It is a problem to them. It's an issue that they might be facing that you don't know the real story behind. You need to immune yourself from that and stay the course. And the thing that I used to tell myself, and Tammy, I'll let you finish the last words here. I know we're just a little over, but this is important. This is really important. Is I used to tell myself that I really believe, I know how important this is for you. I can appreciate that you may not see this at this moment, and I respect that. But just understand that I really do care, and I wanted you to know about it. That's it. And I'm telling you, you wouldn't believe the 180 degrees could happen. But all of that will occur when your confidence and your posture is stronger. So back to you, Tammy.
All right, so I just want to. I think I'm in overdrive with all this. I know that you guys are exhausted too, and we're all on this session because it's Monday night. And thank you for the support with this. I mean, it is for you, and thank you for all of you who contributed and sharing what you got from this event, and we'll continue evolving together. I do want to recognize some of the people who attended who have made that step. And I know it's not an easy step. We remembered, obviously it's easier today, but we remembered taking those steps when we just didn't have it. So I want to recognize Sue Farron. She couldn't join us tonight. She said she catch the recording at 5 a.m. in the morning, early riser. Sylvie Cosette, congratulations for investing in that and yourself in such a big way. You're going to see your prospecting. People are going to watch you and they go, holy crap, what happened to Sylvie? It's going to be so awesome. And Marie Paul, I'm so excited that, in our phone call today, we discussed it, that you made that investment in yourself. It's like, she says, I am so done with being gold. I'm so tired of being gold. And I think you need to get at that place where you're so fed up that you're willing to do what it takes. I know that's where I was always at. I was so fed up that I just said, that's enough. I'm going to the next level. And that's where I am. I'm done with overwhelm. I'm going to take it to another level. I am taking it to a serious badass level. Watch me go. And I know you're going to do the same thing. Linda Coffin, oh my gosh, excited for you. I know this journey for all of you, what's going to happen to you. So congratulations for the investment. And I want to recognize some of our international women. Ange Zerbo out of Ghana, Africa, a huge investment in yourself. Congratulations for that. And Dr. Izzy in Nigeria, congratulations for making this big step. And Elena, oh my gosh, from Davao, she reached out to me on the platform. We had also a breakout session together. And when I saw her make that investment, that was really big. I don't know if you remember the moment we had with them in Cebu, Chris, when we sat down with them, with Eric and his wife, and they were ready to quit. And good for you. They're diamonds now. So congratulations. And your investment is huge. And you guys invest in yourself no matter what it is. 30 minutes a day. It could be an audio training. Think about stepping up to the next bigger thing. Okay? And show up at all these free things. And show up like you invested a lot of money into it. And you'll get more out of it than you would if you just showed up like it was free.
Okay, everyone. Well, listen, have yourself a wonderful evening. Thank you for attending. The call is recorded. It will be posted. I will try to do it tonight. Otherwise, it'll be tomorrow morning. Okay, everybody. Have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris and Tammy.
Oh.
Thank you,
Bye bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Princess Tammy.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.